supplementing Jing. Of course, it's going to be Monyet on that raise.
True, and again, feels like something might be back in his element now. Now that he has that Jet back in his hands. It seems like when he was on the Yoru, he was just following set guidelines. It wasn't the same, something that we were kind of mentioning when he is on that more explosive duelist. And in case I thought Gen.G was going to commit on that C site, but no, just a bit of noise here and there. Maybe hoping to coax a bit of rotation from PRX, which has worked. But if obviously Gen.G doesn't know that, but they're still going to hit the other side on B.
I mean, that's the other thing. It's just that this is a map that, PRX can study game tape off of, because Gen.G did play this, against RRQ. So having an idea, you definitely have that something that is feeling a little bit more swift, a little bit more fluid.
Something get in? Oh, I thought he got into the door. He opened it himself. Here's the fight. They're going to try to go for the pitch very quickly. And PRX, this B site, there is no solid ground here. It is all quicksand. You got to move, or else you're just going to fall into the depths of the bullets. Meteor's by himself. That spike's already getting defused. And PRX, solid start on the pistol.
All right, excuse me. Actually, it wasn't Gen.G playing Lotus. I think it was T1. But the composition, the ideas are rather similar, except for a few agents. And that's the main thing. Again, still, just with the fights going the way of PRX, it's a little bit tougher for Gen.G to break through.
Ah, there you go. And I do like how... Sorry, I was just getting caught by the replay real quick. I do like how PRX realizes well that if you're going to push on the B side, as their opponents, right, Gen.G, you do not want to let go control of C-Long on Mount, because doorway control is so strong, especially now in Lotus, that the door opens very quickly and closes very slowly. So them realizing that, just gives them more opportunities to keep Gen.G pinched into the B site, which allows them to flank around much faster.
Again, that's something that PRX uses very well on the on the defense. Mindfreak just making a bit of noise. But look at how Gen.G is playing defensively. I mean, that's one thing that a lot of teams have adapted to against PRX, expecting or anticipating that they would push out a lot on this defensive side. So they are playing so far back right now, and now that the first minute comes down, now they walk on up to B.
They're about to open the door. Yeah, there's the Haunt activated already. Forsaken's ready and best, but there's too many numbers here. They've committed the fight, they've lost the weapons, and they're losing numbers right now. Monyet's gonna have to hold this by himself. He is down to a very dangerous amount of HP, and something all down to him. Thankfully enough, the rest of PRX, they've done somewhat their jobs, as they have lowered the meters, the life of all the Gen.G players down to half. It's a lot more Vandal digestible for something. Vandal indeed in his hands. He's already activated Tailwind, but Gen.G's not biting. They know they have the numbers advantage. They know the spike is planted already. So something's going to be put into such a decrepit state. He might actually just be forced to save.
Yeah, if he got one kill, maybe he would have gone for even more, but without that kill, it's just way too risky. He never knows if someone is holding an off angle, a bit of a crossfire against him, so doesn't want, to get swung upon contact either. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, well played by Gen.G, because they played it safe. They had those haunts and bits of setups just to draw out some of these PRX players, right? They heard the door, they kind of had an idea. Dude, this might be Mindfreak, he might be around the corner. Let's check. And with so many players up around the corners, it's just PRX kind of putting themselves in awkward positions and, not quite landing their shots too. That's the thing that surprises me the most, because it feels almost as if there's like a bit of that mood shift. Coming back on stage, Alex talking to them that way, and after having lost the first map, they can't be feeling too good right now.
I'm going on to a different point here. You know how PRX on the attacking side here on Lotus, they love to break that mid lane to go to A to B very quickly. Again, using those connectors from site to site to put a lot more motion in the ocean with how they rotate. Gen.G is doing the exact same thing, and it seems, at least for now, in these couple of rounds, it hasn't really paid dividends. What timing for something there. He's actually going to chase for the kill here. Thankfully enough, there's a lot of utility for Meteor to give himself that space, and 140 damage to the body. Atlas is insane, man.
Meteor's not even going for the headshot there. And that's just unfortunate. Again, I mean, half armor, you want to get a kill, at least something, create a bit more space for the team, but can't find all too much. And something going chasing that way, it's, dude. Again, not a feels good moment, but for Gen.G, I mean, right now, we were talking about it from the previous round. You're talking about how they love to, you know, find that motion in the ocean across the map, find that space and push into the A site. They always have players watching their backs. They always have players watching out for those pushes from PRX.
And having Meteor playing as that Killjoy makes it so easy on Lotus. All you have to really do, yeah, I wasn't really expecting Wanya to survive that. All you really have to do is place your alarm bot on C long or A main, depending on which site you're actually committing to. You put it on the elsewhere, and then that one turret on B, or yeah, is just enough to check out all the flags. Also,
Precisely.
yes to your hub.
Also just Meteor being Meteor. I mean, he was that guy who always spot Marshals in round 2 last year when he was the primary duelist for Gen.G. Now onto the Sentinel. I was saying Huh because I saw a double Odin.
I thought you were going to point out the double Showstopper available for both the duelists very quickly here.
That too.
I love having ultimates very early into the game. It makes you very aggressive. And it looks like, okay, let's see. All right, that's gonna be a trade for trade. Texture does get Monyet first. Dust settles 3 versus 3. I mean, what was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to say when you see 2 raises just coming out into the open with showstoppers? You really just have to have your hands up in the air and wave it like you just don't care. Anyways, again, Gen.G able to go into the C site. Gonna be able to plant that spike in, and the quick rotation, the quick huddle around Rubble works in their favor because now all of the utilities that PRX is kind of sprinkled around the map has been subverted for the most part, except for this one really weird off-cam from Forsaken that's been spotted.
Surprised that he caught it. Although it was a bit of information for Forsaken nonetheless. We've got some smokes up, we've got Monyet and Mind Freak available, and they're trying to work their way in. Getting those heads-up duels will be advantages.
There's the NT, not nice try, but the Neural Theft activated. Meteor still holding on, man. He is a force to be reckoned with, but Mind Freak comes up to win. Time is going to be enough to defuse that spike. But man, oh man, if Forsaken didn't pop off there, I shudder to think what would have happened for PRX.
And just before I go into the analysis, can you do that again for me, Asray?
No.
Really?
No. We will do it again when we have the same exact situation happen.
Okay, right. I'm gonna hold you to that.
We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to overstimulate our audiences.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, sick.
Asrai's voice stimulating and titillating. It was really fun. It was really fun. But I mean, again, the main thing is after the exchange, right? The both showstoppers, the rotations came through. Gen.G reads it, and then the retake coming in. You've got this Odin, but Forsaken getting the heads-up duel, and just Meteor holding the angle off. It's beautiful Valorant on both sides, but Mind Freak clutching out on top of it was the main factor.
Now, seems like we're back, you know, down to even. Door's been opened up, but no one wants to charge in on Tree. I guess it makes a lot of sense. They know that the Odin is available already for Device, so they don't want to get, you know, peppered, wall banged to oblivion on Tree there. They just want to make them think. Device already pushed up here, so now he knows no one's actually inside this position. So there is a lot of merit that they might actually break through that link, go to B, or rotate around. Meteor, his timing is going to be very crucial. Forsaken chase a little bit too hard, and he has the lockdown. He can activate it right now, let the rest of his team come in, or use it as bait, force the rotation away from PRX, and go elsewhere.
And that's the best thing that Gen.G has going for them right now. The number of options that they have thanks to Meteor getting that first kill. But now, committing over to the B side, paint shells in, it buys PRX a little bit of time for something to come up with the judge.
Spike down.
He knows someone's right behind him. But since they haven't picked up that spike, he can just be as patient as possible, hold for the rest of his team. That's all he really needs to do. Texture stayed, not going to do much damage, but he does pick it up. Something's got a cloud burst. He can get closer and closer here, create that tempo if need be. But the one that's going to have to hold the most is Meteor right on top of that B site. which he does, leaving Mind Freak in a 2 versus 1. They've doubled up onto the corner here. They got a shot at step. He's got a shot at step. But he's waiting patiently, but you mentioned it already, man. They're stacking up, and he can't do the high-low. Too slow, and that's going to be Gen.G with a round advantage.
That is such a difficult shot to land. I mean, the only time I've ever seen anyone pull off something like that was like maybe Sentinels a few years ago, but still.
Wow, what memory you have, sir?
I don't know, I'm thinking of like Dapper or something. But still, I mean, back into this one, it's just so darn good from Gen.G, the way they've been playing this. You know, I think something kind of jumped around and fired off his judge, thinking that maybe he would be able to buy the attention away, but Gen.G doesn't bite that bait. They stayed hard up on stairs, B stairs, up against, you know, some of these players from PRX like Mind Freak, and making sure that they wouldn't be able to push out.
Yeah, and again, it's because they don't really have to chase him. Again, they can rotate elsewhere on the map. They still had Meteor coming through C that got the kill on Forsaken here. That's a trade for trade. Something's got the Blaze. They're pushing out very aggressively here. Forsaken wants to create more tempo as the rest of PRX come into Waterfall on that flank. 3-3. Gen.G's trapped onto the site. Smokes from from Mind Freak to provide some coverage here. Paranoia to delay them just a tad bit further. One satchel. Pushes right in. Charon holding. Thinking he could be top of the spike. Numbers of PRX dwindling down. Something's going to have to make something happen here. That right click, very shallow, and that's just going to be a clean pickup. Cleanup, excuse me. Quick cleanup. That's the words I was using. Because Gen.G's too fast, dude. I can't react in time.
We can't even say too much about like economical damage either. In that round, PRX was just really trying to find as much as they could, get some kills in. Something getting the Blade Storm going was, you know, a glimmer of hope, but just a bit of hope at best, because it was just way too difficult. Gen.G saw the flank coming out. They knew, all right, let's just go in the scenes.
Definitely is a change up here from something. There you go. I changed my words already. Anyways, Monyet still hasn't really shown what he's got on this raise. I don't think he's gotten too many big of highlights. You know, it's just a crossing of the streams of those showstoppers that we saw, but that's about it. Still pretty early into this game, though.
Not really feeling all that much yet, but at the very least, trying to get a read for Gen.G's game plan right now. We've seen a lot of that A to mid-link play, like you mentioned before, Asteroid, and PRX are trying to adapt around it. They know that Nightfall is available as well, so just trying to play away from it. Now they're set up for something, maybe to at least toss paint shells to deny spike plant, but look at how Texture is hunting.
Oh my god!
Out of charges.
He barely dodges that, gets out of harm's way. But that's the power that they've got. Big kill onto Munchkin there, though, but Meteor's still holding on Rubble. If he can hold on to this position, his teammates can rely on him to hold that long angle right now, but not available anymore. Texture throws the nade from up above on Heaven, so they know that somebody's at least up there as he tries to reposition. The rest of PRX coming in closer. Something floating, stinging like a bee. That nade is going to be so strong. Lakia, wow, over-analyzes the situation and gets punished for it. But Texture is all in his wheelhouse, baby. Smoke does dissipate, so Devi very quickly will be able to get that refrag as well as the complete defuse, and PRX strikes back.
Yeah, classic PRX protocols coming in for those trades. Something with the shorty floating into the dark cover. That was always, you know, that's always fun to watch. But it all starts with Monyet. I think he was trying to create a little bit more space, but the paint shells kind of threw off, and he died really early on because of these shots coming in from Gen.G. However, once something comes in, once Forsaken starts to get going, they can go in for those trades, then we see the PRX fold. The PRX that we're all familiar with. We need more of that, though. I mean, you can't just always rely on these retakes. These round was won thanks to Access timeout. That was thanks to, you know, the read that they had, knowing that Lakia would go in for that Nightfall.
Yeah, and again, as I mentioned already, losing both the players holding Rubble, the long angle, was such a huge discrepancy for Gen.G because they can always have someone hit the reeler outside of A main. Anyways, moving into this round, there's only one player holding that A side, and it's Mind Freak. He's put himself the one-way smoke on Tree here to give him some form of anchoring spot. But thankfully enough, no one's gotten very close into challenging him just yet, but now they do. Prowler's been used.
Wow.
He's just going to get pushed back, and Monyet just making sure that Link is unoccupied by the rest of Gen.G.
Yeah, Forsaken too. At least getting the frag onto Meteor, but now the hit comes through.
Devi holding the backside, anchoring it for the moment. Waiting again for Monyet to double up with him and try to do something as of now. Dog is available. Monyet, I can reposition. Wait, what is happening here? Locky is trying to run away. He opens the door quickly, backs up, but something doesn't have to challenge him just yet. Munchkin has the wall, drops right down, and he has so many angles to deal with. The crossfires, too numerous from PRX, and we equalize once again.
Yeah, this is what we want to see from PRX. This is the PRX we need. The tempo at which they're going, not just, you know, going for those early aggressive kills, trying to find frags or chasing down Meteor. In fact, what they do is to kind of hold back. You've got Mind Freak, set up that one way. You know, you got hold your space, make sure you gain map control, and they got Devi just kind of getting information off of stairs, jump peeking a little bit. Once they confirm that the hit's coming through, they have an idea of where Meteor could lurk in from, and that's what they want. That's how Forsaken picks up that first frag. That's how, you know, Mind Freak does a little bit more.
Speaking of Mind Freak here, he held for a very long time that tree position.
Yeah.
Loving how he does it. I mean, yeah, sure, he doesn't get any kills, but the threat of him of getting that kills and forcing Gen.G to put that into the factors of how they push up into a site is pretty huge. I will say, though, I don't think I've seen Forsaken be successful, in holding a site. He's been good at getting the lurks because he's Forsaken, but the setups that he's done on C really hasn't resulted in Gen.G you know, being thwarted. Meteor has gone there and gotten those flanks, so I don't know how far he can go into this. Pop Shots does put Munchkin down to 56.
It always makes you think twice about wanting to lurk or at least call some rotations over. They know that there is a bit of PRX presence all across the map, and PRX is no longer, you know, really pushing out all that much anymore. So Gen.G now trying to play along with this tempo, trying to adapt to it, but it burns down the timer. Look at the clock, Aserai.
Look at this, though. Gen.G can actually go for that link, and if something is too slow into this one, even if he escapes this, he's going to get pinched in. Unfortunately for PRX, Meteor gets it once and for all. Monyet comes in here with a showstopper, and the rocket goes boom, boom. That's going to be Monyet to get the finalizing kill. And even though something falls, PRX were very quick to adapt and to respond to the offense of Gen.G.
I will take that budget, that bootleg, boom boom from Aserai. Not quite the one that we got from before, but you know, still good.
All right, stop chasing it, stop hunting it. You'll get it when there is a well-deserving
You were absolutely right with the setup that something had. I mean, I would have thought at least he would be able to secure at least one off kill, right? But the rest of the team reacting that quickly, Monyet knowing to go for the showstopper that soon, that was what PRX needed, and that's why you got to have this setup from PRX. He was doing things such as neon plays. Kid is talented, but I mean, apart from that,
I can't believe he's like 10 years younger than me too.
Okay. I don't know how old you are, right? But anyway, I mean, this is a round where PRX has some guns. Gen.G, on the other hand, it's more of a half-ish, force-ish, not half buy.
Yeah.
And you're always thinking about, like, you know, they called in that timeout. They want to suss out information and get a feel for how PRX is defending this time. But something's not going to make it that easy.
Oh, that's way too many people close up in the face of Monyet there. Something's going to back away, retreat. Danger, alert. That nade clearing him up once again. Not big damage. But as that door keeps closing and opening, they don't know how many players have already exited, how many players are still holding. It's holding. It's Texture, one down. Something.
Oh.
Ooh, overflex. And that's Meteor. He can call back his teammates if he wants to. There it is. Lockdown available. And Meteor opens up the A side by pure sheer power.
I got to see the replay on that. Watch them run. I mean, it's so interesting and off-putting how Gen.G is approaching the map. It was a half buy. You just had this squad of stingers. But guess what? Here comes Forsaken, and the spike plant goes down.
Yo. This man might not be the Guardians of the Galaxy, but he is the Guardian of Lotus. 4 kills for Meteor on our Guardian, man. That's pretty insane. Dude is tapping heads left and right.
Yeah, first of all, we had the space from Gen.G, like I was mentioning before. I mean, it's a little bit weird to open the door and then just hide inside a tree. But then PRX coming in to investigate, and then off of that space, Meteor is the one that, you know, they weren't really expecting to be there, and because of his sharpshooting, he's able to pick off their heads just like that. Something wasn't quite able to deal with him, and that's something that I definitely did not expect. I want to see something with his op, really, you know, really pop it off, but he's not doing it so far.
And with all of the abilities that can really flush you out as a jet with an operator, it's very hard for him to do that. Yes, there's no big flashes from Gen.G here, but Prowler, Boombot, Smokes, Paranoia, there's a whole slurry of non-flash abilities that can really irk you if you're something. So Gen.G's been using that to a very good extent.
Now going up against him as well. However, he holds his ground, picks up the first one, and backs away. So this gives PRX a little bit more information, an inkling as to where Gen.G wants to approach from. Something re-peeks and holds the angle. Defy comes in for an information play, but doesn't find all too much.
Ready for that.
But here comes something.
He's got a tailwind again, so he can get out of harm's way if need be, but over peaks. That's going to be the death of him. Monyet's now trapped here on drop. That Haunt supposedly giving away position, but somehow Forsaken manages to squeeze his way through the back of the side, leaving Charon by himself, and Mind Freak for the pinch. That is going to be PRX holding off one more round, and as this announcer mentioned, we are here for the last round of the first half.
6-5. I mean, still a really close score, and it doesn't put PRX out of harm's way. And if you're thinking about it, I mean, something maybe didn't quite get the kills, but at least bought enough time, did enough damage for his team to arrive on scene. And that's another thing. It's just Forsaken playing this role, you know, unless they're walking into his traps, unless they're going into him, we won't often see him popping off that way unless, you know, he arrives with his team.
Yeah. And I love this from Forsaken. Again, it's old news, but I love how he's transitioned into this type of guy that can use these Sentinels. And look at the man, he's still getting kills left and right. Munchkin, he's got himself a judge. I mean, long range, he got the Sheriff. If he can close the distance somewhat, maybe there's a world where he can use that Viper Pit. But look at how many players of PRX are just holding that angle right up in his face.
Yeah, look at the cones of vision on the minimap too.
Yeah. But they're getting closer. Hold on. Wait. Oh my god. Oh, the heart attack, man. Just think about it. But
3 players. All right.
Yeah.
Something wide swing. Okay, we got this. We got this.
Yeah.
7-5 is not too bad for PRX. Obviously not the, you know, score.
Yeah. How much effort with both teams actually fight for Rubble here? Because the thing about Lotus, at least in the pro scene that we've seen for the most part, is people will just, do basically this. Commit the Rubble plays, and Gen.G, those nades are very, very, very deadly. My god, Texture, where'd that flick come from? Mind Freak, he's alone. He's got dark cover to work for days, but his opponent, you know, they can last for months, so just see how more that is. 4 versus 1. He's repositioning around the corner here. Meteor hears him. I wonder if there's a world where Meteor tries to stab Mind Freak here if he over pushes or doesn't even check the corner. But
no.
Play it safe.
Current teams, no. No knife.
Wishful thinking, man. Wishful thinking.
But I mean, it's just how they play. You know, very controlled. They know the setups. And I do kind of have a feeling that this is something that Gen.G had prepared. Studying game tape from PRX before, knowing that, you know, this is definitely something that we want to go for, right? This Rubble control, it's so useful, gives you legs to have that option towards A or mid-link if you want to, set up split pushes. They want to deny that. And that one nade from Texture, not to mention Lakia and Texture pushing in together, just throws PRX off so much.
Can I add as well, Munchkin's Toxic Screen was pretty huge for that, because usually you'd see that and say, it's the safety for the A side. No, it's the danger for Rubble for you if you're trying to push that. Speaking of pushing though, it's the C. Zoom in past Monyet. Whoa, I love this! The double jumping PRX!
Yo, but they still got the shot, man. Whew. So although Monyet makes it through, has a Bulldog, can't go up against Munchkin now. What?
Last player
All right,
standing.
down to something with a Marshall. 3 versus 1.
Party's over.
Makes it a quick 2v1. Okay. That spike is very much out in the open for him. He's got a dash, he actually repositions. But wait, does that angle actually work for him? It's very risk, so he has to try to do something here. Oh my god. Oh, he even got the crosshair in the head near the body space of Lakia. Something overdoing it, going back into C-Long. I mean, it was for the information, but he kind of overheated in that situation too.
Really close. I mean, at least had the right idea to tailwind out of that hairy situation and to play for time a little bit, try to distract Munchkin. But, I mean, Lakia. As soon as Lakia goes in, though, just knowing to crouch and to keep his head tucked under.
Yeah.
Lakia is not always like a standout fragger, but in some situations knows exactly what to do, has enough experience.
Yeah. He's got a good head on his shoulders for sure. Something challenging here. It's tagged up. Correct me if I'm wrong, we casted Lakia last year, right, on Ascension Pacific.
Yeah.
Where he was on
Kia.
Damwon Kia. Did not really get any opportunity to really showcase what he's got there, but with Gen.G here, very much different. In a very good way for Gen.G, by the way.
Of course, now with enough economical damage, Gen.G not having the best guns. You got a Ghost on Texture, Charon on the... Oh, well, it's Charon still. PRX buying up, trying to do what they can. You've got something on this Outlaw, but Gen.G just respects all of this space and plays for numbers instead. They kind of relinquish A, which means it's going to be a tough retake for them.
Fair enough. Especially with the rest of PRX holding both stairs and A heaven. They've got everything locked and loaded. They don't really need to stay inside of the site. They can be proactive as much as they would want to.
Oh,
Charon does get that angle against something, but damage is already done here, Quack. Gen.G, I feel like it's only going to be exits and a bit of economic damage that they can really do in this round.
Makes me wonder if it was like the barrel peeking out. But
Probably
that,
is.
Again, yeah, it's just Charon still.
And it's that nerd talk about line of sight. You get closer into a corner. You can see your opponent faster than they do. We're not going to get deep into that.
34 degrees here in the corner of the wall.
TLDR, guys, the closer you are to a wall when you peek a corner, the worse it is for you. The farther you are from a wall when you peek a corner, the better it is for you.
Thank you, Asarai.
Yeah.
But yeah, still, a round picked up by PRX still as they move forward. But Gen.G has definitely caught up, winning out that pistol in the subsequent round after that. So now buying back up, I mean, we saw how Gen.G, this round really just kind of playing it safe. Still a lot of damage, but apart from that, you're just thinking about how else PRX can come in.
Have access to that showstopper of his.
Which is why PRX is trying to get a read for that off of Gen.G's timeout. We've seen their A, we've seen a bit of their C. Haven't seen all too much else for now, though. I mean, newly formed PRX with Monyet now, just executing into C site. Kind of bypassed Munchkin's judge.
Spike down.
Oh, but look at that door play from Lakia.
Oh, man. Again, the door opens so quickly that you can't really sometimes react to the punish that could follow up from the defenders, and you see that activated so quickly here. Something now just going to be holding with the judge first. I do like this because, again, you don't want to play that close and hope for accuracy. You just want to go for the pellets first of this shotgun. Munch is going to be first on the pedestal. He's getting very close. I don't know who's going to get this one. On the corner, he will be dropped down by something. Coming in right now is going to be Monyet using that showstopper of his to delay even further. Meteor's getting in closer. Lakia as well. They need to make something happen here, and it's all down to Lakia. Good for the first. But there's so many just high angle position from PRX that he cannot even flick quickly enough to deal with. And that's going to be the 9-7 for PRX here.
Yeah, great solve on the C site. You got something, you have a bit of utility, Defy with a guiding light as well, and just pushes Munchkin away enough for something to get into position to do things like this. I mean, he was really a lot more calm in this moment. Remaining. And then picking up that Phantom and tailwinding away. Coming down to it as soon as they picked up those numbers, as soon as they figured out where Gen.G was going to approach from, much more easy for PRX to defend post-plant.
Yeah, but again, Gen.G showing the same thing that they brought up here from that Breeze map, which is that they can punish the in-transit of PRX, and they do it once again here in this round. Look at that. Something's been dropped down as well as Forsaken. Monyet frantically trying to get control here of C. Doesn't matter if he is alone or with teammate. What a dodge from Mind Freak! Oh my goodness! They're trying to rally behind that showstopper of Texture. Great flash from Charon, and it's all Monyet alone. The new blood from PRX set down by Gen.G. What a thrifty round from the Koreans.
I mean, all that utility, all those shots starting things off. We had the Sheriff, and all they really did was kind of just wait for that contact from PRX. Once that green light was lit, Gen.G knew exactly how to get...
Okay. Oh, the Haunt actually gave away the position there of something as well as Mind Freak. Nade did stop PRX for just a few seconds here, Quack, but not really the biggest of hindrances for now.
Just letting them gain control over this spot, but look at the positioning that they have. Texture still up around, could go up the ropes if he needed, and then you've got Munchkin just ready to welcome them with open arms on the other side of Link.
Texture's trying to delay as much as he can at the back of the site, hoping that he can stop the Monyets, but he will not. Lakia coming in to pinch, at least stopping some of this massive map control that PRX has gotten on that A. Spike will get planted. It's all about the retake here for Gen.G. Okay, Divide does find Munchkin here, making it a more palatable situation for PRX. Lakia opening the door. The Forsaken finds him with an Odin. Meteor's gonna just have to run away here, or just stay in the side, whichever. They're already pretty rich, so they can just buy up into the next round anyways. So he can make this into an expensive endeavor for PRX.
A little bit expensive, Monyet dying. But yeah, that's always funny when you open the door. Hello, say hello to my little friend, and Forsaken's on the other side. But
sorry, I just wanted to say that's why a lot of teams on Lotus have now just been picking up the Odin. I know it's not brand new news or anything, but this is a big reason why you can just wallbang for days that specific angle, whether you're attacking or defending. And it is such a huge, look at this. It's such a huge power play for you to be able to do that.
On the attacking side too, especially if you're behind rubble, you can spray through and try to catch someone as they try to approach. And that's what Forsaken is doing again, just to give PRX a little bit more map control. But yeah, Charon.
Okay, a little bit of an overreach here for Gen.G for sure, as Mind Freak and Texture have been just blasted away. Speaking of which, Monyet to infinity and beyond. The showstopper comes to truly stop that show. 4 versus 3. We have a bit of calm here as PRX do get access onto that A site, but the rest of Gen.G already right now the back of things. Meteor finding one, lockdown activated, but it is a little bit shallow. There still is position that you can play inside of tree as well as outside right there of stairs, and something holding the blades as well as the operator. This makes the long range fights a little bit more palatable here for PRX. Haunt does give away his position. They use that Haunt to actually get closer, but Forsaken holds for something. Something now against Meteor, 2 versus 1. That box not really giving too many angles for him to have safety on. And if he gets peeked, it's going to be 1 in the front, 1 in the back. That's going to be PRX 11-8.
So although they picked up quite a bit, making use of the Killjoy lockdown, Gen.G got a bit of space, but the setup from PRX was still just that good. And that's always the thing about, you know, the A site. You've got tree that you can hold out from. You've got the stairs area that you can also watch from. And Divide knows how to play off of his teammate that way.
One enemy.
I just, again.
I don't care, bro. I don't care.
They're having fun.
And when PRX are having fun, you know it's a dangerous time for you. And I'm having fun, because that means that we're going to get a game 3.
You need someone to keep those spirits up. You know, if not, something or Ilya will get really in their heads.
What is this? Okay, just, you know, open the door, get tripped up, see what happens. Wall has been called in a little bit closer into the A main position, and that actually works in the favor here of Gen.G. As you saw, Forsaken get blasted very quickly. They're very close into the opposition right now, but Divide realizes that he has to come pinch in for his teammates. Oh my god! Again, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee for something, loving to use that floaty. Both snipers actually missing as they try to reposition quickly. But now they know. Meteor's position exposed. He's only got a Marshall in his hand here, Quack, and it truly is danger time for him. If he loses this, PRX will be on map point. Wow, okay, Meteor! Woo!
That's the same Meteor that we saw from Gen.G last year, doing things with the Marshall. But still, I mean, when you think about it, PRX definitely had this round in the books. Very close to it, though. 2 kills with that Marshall. I mean, Gen.G's whole game plan was to really try to find a way, pull off something unorthodox, right? Make use of that toxic screen to surprise them. 3 players on the other side of it. That's it, though. Monyet on the other side, PRX having game plans. A plan B, really, to keep themselves alive, and Devi is having fun.
I'm just going to stay quiet here and let us just enjoy the laughs of Devi. Make that your soundtrack, ladies and gentlemen. But as I was spewing some nonsense words, we've already seen some great impact actions here from Gen.G as something's been taken away from the board. Again, Gen.G still threatening a lot of that control on Rubble. This means that it's only down to really Monyet to entry into the site. Devi activates, but Meteor is here to just again anchor things, denies access into that C site, and PRX will have to scratch their heads a little bit here. What happened? We tried to push in and actually fall on our heads as Meteor repositions for this right angle. They might not know about this, and they will never do, as the smoke really just makes it difficult for them to gain any
way too much.
Control.
There's so much delaying that the rest of the PRX members on the other side, if they go into this, it's not a favorable numbers duel. Something kind of losing to Karon on the other side of the map as well. It just doesn't quite work out for them. So Gen.G gets to extend their lives in this map.
30 seconds left.
Yikes, that haunt. Truly going to be the nightmare there for PRX, and you say it already, man. It's gonna extend the lifeline here for Gen.G. Texter's now gonna have himself the sniper in hand. What happened here at this point? Ah, yes, there it is. Karon getting that quick Rubble control. PRX couldn't push up because of all the delay tactics that we saw from Gen.G, and then C-Site, it was the same thing, but then Meteor was the one holding.
Yeah, it's all these tiny, slight bits of utility. You know, Meteor has the Nanostorm. It kind of slows down the rest of the team. They can't quite follow up with Monyet because of it. And keep in mind, PRX has spent both timeouts at this point. They're on an eco. It's a bit of a half buy, but it's starting to bite them in the back.
Ooh, Karon, where did he come from? Picks up the 2K. There's the quick flash from Devi. Okay, oh, hold on. Devi gets 2. But never mind. All right, I'll bite my tongue there. 12-10. Gen.G really having solid control on Rubble, man. There is no answer for PRX in these past few rounds.
Past 2 at the very least. The adaptations, I mean, that's another thing with the PRX structure. You know, all of them are giving ideas as to how they want to approach the map or figure out ways to deal with Gen.G. But yeah, they've spent those timeouts, and this means, you know, unless there's a clear answer, we might actually have an overtime at our hands.
PRX are running out of credits to actually fall back on for the moment, too. This camera...
Texture and an off.
Yeah, there you go. Does give away the position, too, of his opponent right in front of him. It's only Forsaken really just holding A main. He wants to be able to anchor this by himself from the looks of things. That will allow PRX to, again, make do with elsewhere. But they're so far back from both sides, man. They haven't really done this kind of slower approach at all in this map.
There's not that much control. One-way smokes are all being spent up around this one spot. And then, of course, you still got Munchkin available with that toxic screen. A is a very difficult spot to hit right now, but trying to make something happen off of the Odin suppressive fire.
Okay, they open the doorway into tree. Woof, Texture, here you go. Inside the smoke is going to be Karon. Then PRX are pushing blind into the site. They gotta just go for that big contact. Something finding Munchkin.
30 seconds left.
Showstopper activated. Does that stop the
Spike
plant on the
down
spike?
A.
Yes, it will be, but it's trade for trade here, Quack. It's not the end of the world. Something repositions, almost gets hang by the rope side.
Last
Lakia
player standing.
pushed out, something exploding at this point. And there's the plant on the spike, 2 versus 1 for Meteor, but
10
Meteor
seconds left.
has truly been
Spike planted.
a miracle worker at this point. They're backing up into the corner and something finds it with the
Attackers
4K,
win.
and we are going to map number 3.
I mean, in that last round, you could